Well, hello, welcome again to our reading of Iliad Book 3, and we're up to the top of the page here. Who's Ephat? Now this of course is from Phamy. It's thus he spoke. It's Ephat te, and the epsilon's dropped out before the vowel, and then the tor's been aspirated by the aspiration in Hektor. So thus he spoke. This is Paris, of course, and Hektor, again, or then, akousas, participle, aorist participle here, having heard the megathumon, literally the great word, so the great speech, the powerful speech. This is where Paris offers to fight in single combat with Menelaus. So having heard this great speech, kare again is the aorist passive without augment and without theta because of the liquid letter here for middle, so it's just rejoiced. And so Hektor, when he heard this great speech, again he rejoiced, he was again happy. Kai ra, now the ra here is from ara. It's a shortened form from ara. All that's left after you elided the alpha is just the rho. So accordingly, Eon, participle from Amy Ibo, having gone into the middle, unerge is from unergo to, it's to restrain, to hold back. And it's imperfect here, I think. So he began to hold back the phalanxes of the Trojans. Helone, there's that root we've had several times now from Hyrio, the hell root, having grasped, having taken hold of the middle of his douros spear. From doru, this is the longer form from doru. This is the genitive. So having taken hold of the middle of his spear. So by taking hold of the middle, he's indicating that he's not fighting, but he wants to get their attention. Toi for hoi, and they, all of them, hindrunethesan, they took their seats, really. They were seated. But on the other side, the long-haired Achaeans, I've had this expression before, those long hair in respect of their head, so the long-haired Achaeans, epitoxazonto, this is a funny word here, literally they were bending their bows against him. So you can imagine the Achaeans suddenly see Hector there and they think, good, we can get rid of this guy. So they wave their bows at him, or they bend or string up their bows against him. And tituskamai is to aim, and aiming at him with eoisin, from eos, with their arrows. It's an interesting word. It has a range of meanings. Eos can mean poison. It can mean a rainbow. But here it's their bows or their arrows. Probably bows, actually. Aiming at him, aiming their bows, aiming at him with their eos, with their arrows. And ebalon, this is imperfect. It's probably inceptive, so they were intending to strike him. La es in dative plural with stones. So they're aiming at him with their arrows, and they're about to release their stones on him. But very strong but here. Agamemnon anax undrawn. Agamemnon, lord of men. Common title for Agamemnon. Ausen, this is from auo, to yell out or cry out. Macron is adverbial from a long way, from a distance. Isgest Argaioi, hold back Argives. This is from Isco, so restrain yourselves, hold back, do not strike. This is imperative here. O Kuroi Achaean, O youths of the Achaeans, so it's fighters, men of the Achaeans. Kuros is, of course, is a boy, youths, but here it's just used more in a general sense. Stutai is a funny word. I'm not sure the exact meaning is pinned down completely. It only occurs in Homer in the third person singular and sometimes the imperfect. It's often translated as is about to. It may more have the sense of is plainly, is evidently going to, is plainly going to. You can have a look up the commentaries on this word. It's a difficult word, but you can just translate it is going to. So for Hektor of the Koruth Iolos, now Iolos is sparkling, and Koruthos is helmet. So often rendered as Hektor of the shining helmet. He is about to, or is patently going to, and we get this probably future infinitive here from aero. So the verb here is aero. It's the same root as you get in verbum in Latin and word and so on. There's a digamma originally there. So he is about to bid or to speak a certain word, ti epos. Hosephath, and thus he spoke, and they esconte. This is from Echo, and it's in the middle. So literally they held themselves and then from battle. So, but they restrained from battle, and they became aneoi. This is another strange word here. It's often glossed as being some kind of nominative plural, but it's more likely, in fact, an old locative form. Literally, they were in silence. But they often simply translate this, they became silent. So they held back from the battle, they restrained themselves from battle, and they became silent. Esoumenos, eagerly. So they did these things eagerly. So I suppose they had enough of fighting anyway. And Hektor demet photerois in epe. Hektor said among both sides. So he spoke to both sides. We get the repeated epsilon here. We need an extra short syllable. So Hektor addressed both sides. Keklutemu, an odd form here. The commentaries tell us that this is a reduplicated aorist imperative. I suppose it could also be well, it must be that, that's what they say. It could be a perfect imperative, but probably a reduplicated aorist imperative from Cluo. So hear me, Trojans and well-greaved Achaeans. Now the kinemis are the things you wear around your legs, the greaves to protect you. So the well-greaved Achaeans and Trojans. So it's actually here from me. It's mu for mu here. So here from me, Trojans and well-greaved Achaeans, the muthos, the word of Alexander, on account of whom, Homer will often use the article instead of the relative pronoun here, so on account of that man, so on account of whom, nerkos, strife. Ororen is perfect from ornumi, to rouse or raise up. So on whose account this strife was roused. This strife raised itself up in the first place. He bids the remainder of the Trojans, the rest of the Trojans, and all the Achaeans, apothesthai from apotithemi, to put away their beautiful weapons upon the it's pulu for polu, and the boter here is much nourishing. So bounteous, it's often translated, on the bounteous ground, on the much nourishing ground. And that he himself, so this is part of the thing he bids, he says that he himself in the middle, and Menelaus dear to Ares, Oius here, meaning alone. This is the plural of oios, one of these funny words, but this one means alone, to fight around Helen and all the possessions. And yes, it's oios here. The word here is oios. If you're looking it up in the dictionary, there's an interesting place in Santorini called Ia, which is a very pretty little town, and it comes from this same name. It's right up the very north, and it means the lonely place. And so this word has survived into, at least in that town name in modern Greek.